Decoded.
Hey there, knowledge adventurers, and welcome back to Book Decoded.
Ready for another deep dive?
Absolutely. Get ready for some of those aha moments as we crack open another really interesting book.
Yeah, we're pulling out the gems you need to know.
Today, it's Forget That. 22 Lessons You Must Unlearn to Succeed. Brand new from Dr. Roger Flax. Just out in 2025.
And this book, it's got a really compelling angle, doesn't it?
It really does.
It basically says that sometimes the stuff we think we know, the advice we've always followed, it might actually be holding us back.
Exactly. It's all about spotting those, ingrained mistruths and sort of flipping the script.
And Dr. Flax, he's not just speculating. He's built a big leadership consulting firm, right? Run thousands of seminars.
Spot on. He wrote No Stopping You, How to Win the Game of Life, too. So he's seen this stuff play out in the real world, seen what trips people up.
Yeah, he's got the practical experience.
And what I love is how broad these lessons are. Work stuff, relationships, just how you think about things. There's something for everyone. So our mission today is to unpack some of the really actionable, interesting ideas from Forget That. We'll share some stories, maybe challenge a few assumptions. Keep it fun. Keep it positive.
Sounds good. Let's maybe jump right into the first lesson. This one really made me pause.
Which one?
The idea of treating everyone the same. You know, it sounds so fair, right? Equitable.
Totally. It's like the golden rule, just applied across the board. But Dr. Flax kind of throws a curveball here.
He does. He says treating everyone exactly the same, well, it won't work and will come back to haunt you.
So why not? What's the thinking there?
Well, it boils down to something pretty fundamental.
Yeah.
No two people are wired the same way. I mean, it's obvious when you think about it.
Right. So a one-size-fits-all approach just isn't going to cut it.
Exactly. And he really hammers home the importance of reading people. Says it's the foundation, really, of good communication.
Okay, reading people. And he gives us a tool for that, something called RPQ.
Yep. RPQ, reading people quickly. It's a framework, sort of.
Intriguing. Give us the lowdown.
Okay, so it's about quickly sizing up someone's style based on three things. First, are they mainly a speaker, like to talk things out, or more of a listener? Happier if you lead.
Okay, speaker or listener.
Got it. Second, are they a me person focused on their stuff, or a you person more tuned into others?
Me versus you.
Makes sense.
And finally, results-oriented, like get to the point, or relationship-oriented, needing that connection first.
Speaker listener, me you, results relationship.
Exactly. It's about tuning in. And the book has some great examples like Alan Sands.
Ah, yes. Tell us about Alan.
Classic speaker me results. The takeaway. With someone like Alan, you gotta let him talk. Don't interrupt. Frame things around his goals.
Right. Jumping in with your own agenda too soon would just backfire.
Totally. Then you've got Rick Borpup. Completely different.
How so?
Rick was listener you results.
Yeah.
So for him, you want to be clear, direct, concise. Focus on his needs, the outcome. Small talk. Probably not the best approach.
Wow, it really shows how tailoring your style makes such a difference. It really does. And it's not just face-to-face either. The Matt example is interesting.
The one where they built the whole relationship remotely.
Yeah. They figured out Matt was speaker me results and adapted all through calls and emails. It still works.
That's fascinating. And the tennis example, too.
Oh, right. Adapting your game on the fly based on whether your opponent seems more like a listener-you relationship or a speaker-me results type, it shows how quick these reads can be.
So it's less about boxing people in, more about being flexible and consider to their style, meeting them where they are.
Exactly. Treating people in a way they'll actually respond well to.
Okay, good stuff. Let's shift gears. Here's another one that might ruffle some feathers. The idea that most people are honest and tell the truth.
Ooh, yeah. We'd like to believe that, wouldn't we? Makes life easier.
It really does. Creates trust. But Dr. Flax kind of pushes back on this one, too. Gently, but firmly.
He does. Suggests that, well, maybe not everyone is completely transparent all the time. He uses that dental implant story.
Oh, man, the price difference. $80,000 versus $25,500. That's staggering.
Right. It's not just a minor variation. It makes you wonder what's really going on behind the scenes.
So what's the lesson? Become totally cynical. Trust no one.
Uh-huh. No, not quite. The book's more about being discerning. Not negative, just aware.
Aware that people might have their own motives, that information isn't always objective.
Exactly. So how do we handle that without becoming, paranoid?
Good question. What does the book suggest?
Well, pay attention to more than just the words. Tone of voice, body language, that old saying, it's not what you say.
About how you say it.
All right.
Also, listen for filler words, stalling. Like, are they buying time? And try to sort facts and examples from just opinions or broad statements.
Okay, so it's about sharpening our listening and critical thinking skills, looking a bit deeper.
Pretty much, considering the context. But, and this is crucial, he also says, keep looking for the good in people. Don't let this awareness turn into cynicism. It's a balance.
A healthy skepticism, maybe.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. Okay, how about this one? There are two sides to every story. We hear that constantly.
All the time. Sounds perfectly reasonable. Implies fairness.
It does. But forget that, argues it's often more like three sides.
Three. Okay, explain that.
Your side, my side, and then the truth. He calls it the person C perspective, kind of in the middle.
Interesting. Why not just two?
Because, as the book points out, people tend to, well, maybe leave bits out. Or stretch things a little, sometimes on purpose, sometimes not. To fit their view, maybe protect themselves.
Yeah, I can see that. We all have our biases.
Yeah.
The book had that example about Frank, right? And the pushy employee.
Spot on. Frank saw directness as pushy. The employee probably saw it as being efficient or knowledgeable.
So person C's truth is likely somewhere in between, maybe factoring in different communication styles.
Exactly. And the Manny Faxit budget cut story, same idea. Different people hear different things, interpret rumors differently.
Right, versus what's actually happening with the budget.
Yeah.
Nuance gets lost.
And that Carmen DePinto car payment argument. Perfect example. Two people, same conversation, totally different memories of what was agreed. Both think they're right.
Yikes. Been there. So the takeaway isn't just hear both sides. It's dig for the third side, try to get the fuller picture.
Precisely. Be a bit of an investigator. Realize perspectives are often incomplete, which kind of leads into another red flag the book mentions.
Yes, trust me.
Bingo.
That and I know for a fact.
Yeah, those phrases always make my ears perk up a bit. Why do they need to tell me to trust them?
That's the book's point exactly. If someone's genuinely credible, confident, their actions, the actual facts, they usually speak for themselves. They don't need those verbal props.
Like the chips factorian example. Inspires trust through competence.
Right. Contrast that with Alda Cocker, who apparently uses those phrases all the time.
So hearing trust me or I know for a fact should be like a little mental alarm bell.
Basically, yeah. The advice is simple. Politely ask for an example, a real-life illustration, something concrete. And if they can give one, great. If they flounder,
Then maybe take what they're saying with a grain of salt. It's practical, right? Shifts focus to evidence, not just assertion.
very practical. Okay, one more area, confidentiality. The whole it's confidential, I give you my word thing. How solid is that promise?
According to... Forget that. Maybe not as solid as we'd hope.
Doesn't surprise me, honestly.
The book gives some pretty stark examples where that promise was broken with bad consequences.
Yeah, the HR person spilling the beans about a job search. That's rough. Major career impact, potentially.
Or the attorney sharing client financial woes. Big ethical breach.
Definitely. And even the healthcare executive surgery becoming common knowledge. It shows how easily confidential info just spread.
It becomes gossip, right? Even if people mean well, the urge to share juicy info can be strong.
So the advice isn't necessarily assume nothing is secret, but be realistic.
Yeah, be realistic. The book mentions maybe using an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, for really sensitive stuff.
But even then,
awareness is key. Think carefully about who you trust with what.
wow. These lessons from Forget That really do make you step back and question things we just accept.
They really do. It's about being more mindful, more intentional, questioning those automatic assumptions.
And the idea is that by unlearning some of these common mistruths, we can actually navigate things better, be more effective.
That's the core message. Better communicators, maybe better judges of situations, hopefully more successful overall, both at work and just, in life.
It's powerful stuff, really makes you think.
Definitely.
So here's a thought for you, listening right now. As you go about your day, what's just one long-held belief, one piece of common wisdom that maybe deserves a second look? What might open up for you if you questioned it?
Good question to ponder.
Definitely food for thought. Thanks for tuning in to Book Decoded.
We'll catch you next time for another deep dive.